Welcome to Basic Flight and FPS Structure. Introduction. This course is mandatory for all Imperium members. Note that you are not expected to be 100% familiar with this structure, but you will be expected to at least know the basic structure for any given role you wish to play in-game during an Imperium mission or operation. You should also know that if you are seeking a higher position, you will be required to have a more in-depth knowledge of the structure and chain of command on the battlefield. The structure. This course will show how the structure works. This will give you a general idea of the hierarchy and chain of command on the battlefield. Knowing how Imperium operates gives soldiers, pilots and leaders a way to operate together in a rapid and effective manner. Please note that for the purpose of simplicity and ease of understanding, there is an intentional similarity between ground and flight structure. FPS operations. During FPS or first-person shooter combat, it is essential that everyone knows exactly what their role and function is. This is accomplished by designating teams with both names and colors, as listed below. Body team. A body team always consists of 2 soldiers, no more, no less. The body team is indicated with a color, red, blue or gold, and the position or rank in the body team is indicated with the number 1 or 2. It is important that the leader in a body team is the only one reporting back to the fire team leader, unless the body team leader is incapable of reporting or responding. Fire team. Next in line is the fire team leader, who is responsible for up to 3 body teams. Body team leader red 1 is the designated fire team leader. Body team leader blue 1 is the designated second in command of the same fire team. A fire team is called, for example, Alpha 1, Alpha 2, and so on, based on the squad designation. To avoid confusion on the battlefield and maintaining order, it is important that any information that is relevant for the squad leader goes through the fire team leader. This leads to body team leaders talking to fire team leader talking to squad leader, and so forth. Information and directions are given the same way from the top down to body team leaders. Squad. The next level of the hierarchy is the squad leader, who is the leader of up to 3 fire teams. Fire team lead Alpha 1 is the designated squad leader. Fire team lead Bravo 1 is the designated second in command of the same squad. It is important to note here that the squad leader is the only one communicating upwards in the hierarchy, in order to minimize the unnecessary and distracting information. If his squad is approaching the upper numbers of the maximum size, 16 to 24 members, or in an unusual chaotic circumstances, he can designate a single qualified and responsible individual to act as his comms operator, relaying messages to and from the next level upwards. Troop. At the top of the local chain of command in a FPS situation, unless under specialized conditions, is the troop commander. The troop commander is in charge of any number of squads. The troop commander will rarely be in combat. He or she will almost always be commanding the battle from a more secure location, usually well behind the front line, where he or she can gain the best possible overview of the situation and digest all the information coming from the squad leaders. Under normal conditions, there will only be 1 troop commander, although he or she may designate a second in command or additional personnel to help coordinate large operations. FPS troop structural overview. 2 people comprise a body team. 3 body teams comprise a fire team. 3 fire teams comprise a squad. 3 squads comprise a troop. Flight operations. During flight, combat, much like FPS combat, it is essential that everyone knows exactly what their role and function is. This is accomplished by designating ships or teams with both names and colors, as listed below. Body team. Body team consists of 2 ships, no more, no less. Their body team is indicated with a color, red, blue or gold, and the position or rank in the body team is indicated with the number 1 and 2. It is important that the lead in a body team is the only one reporting back to the fire team lead, unless the body team leader is incapable of reporting or responding. Element. Above the body teams is the element leader, who is the leader of 3 body teams. Body team lead red 1 is the designated flight lead. Body team lead blue 1 is the designated second in command of the same flight. Following the same naming convention as the FPS scenario, an element is named using, for example, Alpha 1, Alpha 2 and so on, based on the squad designation. To avoid confusion on the battlefield and maintain order, it is important that any information that is relevant for the squad leader goes through the element lead. This leads to body team leaders talk to the element leaders talk to the squad lead, and so forth. Information and directions are given same way from the top down to body team leaders. Flight. The next level of the hierarchy is the flight leader, who is the leader of 3 elements. Element lead Alpha 1 is the designated flight leader. Element lead Bravo 1 is designated second in command of the same flight. It is also important to note here that the flight leader is the only one who communicates upward in the hierarchy, in order to minimize unnecessary and distracting information. If his flight is approaching the upper numbers of the maximum size, 16 to 24 members, or in unusually chaotic circumstances, he can designate a single qualified and responsible individual to act as his comms operator, relaying messages to and from the next level upwards. Squadron. At the top of the local chain of command in a flight operation, unless under specialized conditions, is the squadron commander. The squadron commander is in charge of any number of flights. The squadron commander will rarely be in combat. He or she will almost always be commanding the battle from a more secure area, usually well behind the front line, where he/she can gain the best possible overview of the situation and digest all the information coming from the flight leaders. Under normal conditions, there will only be 1 squadron commander, although he or she may designate a second in command or additional personnel to help coordinate larger operations. Flying squadron structural overview. 2 people comprise a body team. 3 body teams comprise an element. 3 elements comprise a flight. 3 flights comprise a squadron.